because it's time for our Extreme Rules predictions. So, there's 6 matches, and I have to add, one of the things that have been a staggering improvement from Vince McMahon's creative run is that the limited matches in pay-per-views, great, makes everything feel important, makes everything stand out. And in this particular Extreme Rules event, there's a stipulation to every match. To every match, there's some form of extreme stipulation, and also the rumored return of one Bray Wyatt. I think that this card is perfect for this because it doesn't, you know, there aren't any US championship or IC championship matches, no heavyweight title fights. So I feel like a Bray Wyatt return would contrast and complement this perfectly. But lo and behold, we're gonna get started on this with the first match that has been advertised: Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship in an Extreme Rules match. Who do you have?
I feel like while they've been trying to establish Liv and they've been doing a good job with establishing her, I feel like they really want to somehow get Shayna involved. Don't know why. I feel like
Hmm.
they're trying to push over to that dream match that everyone's been wanting between Shayna and Ronda. So I feel like Shayna may help Ronda to win, or maybe there might be an interference considering she still hates Liv's guts,
Mm.
and Ronda kind of has been on unhinged, like she literally has been like, kind of going a little bit psycho considering that she lost her belt and like that's all she cares about at the moment.
Mm.
So I do feel like I'm going to see an interference, and I do feel like um Ronda's definitely going to win. And I also feel like it's been long enough that Liv had the belt. I'm a little bit bored of her at the moment, so that's just me. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think that Ronda is going to win the belt. I believe that the victory in all of this is Liv Morgan being built up to be a solid, versatile character, in the sense that it you can take Liv seriously, more seriously now. I feel like, previously she was just seen as this happy-go-lucky women's wrestler, and I love Liv. I love Liv's presentation. I love her work. Um, but I feel like that's the victory in all this for Liv, is the fact that she's, Hunter proved that she can take it there. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I think that that's the victory in all this, because I feel like now, even if she loses the belt, now we could find a way to put her back into that championship feud, or possibly teaming up with somebody else and going after the tag titles or whatever may have you. I do believe that there is going to be a Shayna interference, because I believe that starting now, we're going to get a build up to Shayna versus Ronda. I think that Shayna is going to come alongside Ronda as the enforcer, and then Shayna's going to turn on Ronda, and then we're going to get a Shayna Ronda at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title, where I believe that Shayna is going to win, because I believe that Shayna is criminally, or was criminally underutilized under Vince. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my take. I think that Shayna is going to win. I mean, not Shayna. Ronda is going to win that title.
Shayna should win at
Shayna
some
should
point.
win. Shayna should be the champ
Yeah.
right now, but that's another discussion for another day. So, next match, we have Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins in a fight pit match with Daniel Cormier as the special guest referee. Who do you got?
I think Matt Riddle got this one because I mean we had the heel one last time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it made the fans feel a little bit of sympathy for Matt. But I feel like considering the setting that's going on, it'd be a little disrespectful if he lost again, considering he's the professional fighter over here.
Right.
So I feel like this feud's gonna
Right.
close off with a babyface victory to put this
Hmm.
whole storyline to an end. Even though I wouldn't complain if I saw Matt Riddle lose again. I love Seth Rollins. He's been doing great in this role. How about you?
I I actually think the opposite. I think that Seth freaking Rollins is going to win. I believe that Daniel Cormier is going to help Seth Rollins win. I believe reason being is because, for those of you who don't know, the fight pit, the first match in the fight pit was Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle in NXT. And so I think Matt Riddle won there, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but Daniel Cormier is a known Seth Rollins fan. Um, Reports have been kind of coming out saying that it was actually Daniel Cormier, uh, Seth Rollins, who actually reached out to Daniel to participate in this. And Daniel has also been very much interested in a WWE run. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Daniel Cormier help Seth get the victory, as well as kind of be an enforcer or a manager alongside Seth. I think that would be a good little fit for him and a good little segue into a WWE run, possibly. Also, something else to consider is that Seth Rollins the following night has a match with Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. I believe what's going to happen is that Seth is going to win this match against Riddle. Seth is going to go on, win the U.S. title, and then Matt is going to challenge Seth for the U.S. title and then win it off of him. That's just my honest prediction, but I do think that Seth is going to win. Now, going from that,
You kind of cut out on my end hearing the Bobby part. You said
oh,
something about Bobby, and then
oh
it
yeah, Seth
blurred out.
Seth
It
is
kind of
facing
fell down
Bobby
a
the
little
next night in Brooklyn for the U.S. title.
bit. Okay,
So I
okay,
think that
okay.
Seth is going to win, use that momentum to win the U.S. title off of Bobby, and then from there, Matt is going to challenge Seth again for the U.S. title, and then Matt's going to win again.
Ooh, that's actually a more that sounds more triple A esque.
Yeah,
But
that's a very Hunter thing to do, I think, in my opinion.
sometimes
But
my brain is like programmed to think the way like how Vince would book this, because he's very A, B, and C,
right,
whereas like Hunter always has like a
a
bunch of
story.
branches
Yeah,
going off, it's just to get to the end. So when you break it down that way, I'm like, yeah, it actually makes not just more sense, just for a better story, and
right.
it still makes both parties look really good and still adds on to Seth's character. So I actually really like that take. But moving on.
So moving on, Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Cross in a strap match. Who do you got?
They could have went with a better name than a strap match. Well, let me stop. I honestly feel like they're building Karrion Cross up. I don't believe that in this point in time, Drew is supposed to be utilized for anything of importance. Not to say that Drew is not important. He's very important. He's very valuable. It just, in my head, I already made my mind up after he lost that title at Clash of the Castle that if he didn't win shit then, right now, probably for the remainder of 2022, it's just not for you, bro.
Right.
Um, they're trying very hard to make Karrion Cross look very good. They're still building him up. They're trying to make him as likable or interesting to the audience, and I feel like he needs this win if they
Mm-hmm.
want to keep establishing him. It's been a very slow burn of a build, and if he lost, it would do no favors to him. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like he just has to go over for this particular match. I feel like it's probably not going to be like a clean win. Since Scarlett is there, I'm assuming she better, if she gonna do a fireball again, child, she need to get it together, right? She
That's a
she
fact.
gonna do that. She gonna do it again to help him cheat and win. She better, come
Ace
correct
that.
this time. I
Yeah.
mean, but shout out to her though for the way she saved it, because that's kind of like a veteran move to know, like, all right, I sabotaged it, so let me go with a low blow. And then
Right.
for Drew, instead of just selling it, even though he knows that that was nowhere near him, it didn't make any sense for him to just take it. So good on them, by the way. Love that. But I think that Karrion Cross has to go over.
I agree with you there. I think Karrion Cross is going to go over. They're building Karrion. I feel like losing will help build Drew's character. And for some reason, I kind of feel like a Drew McIntyre heel turn is on the way, just because of how everything has
Ooh.
been shaping up for him story wise. I
With a gimmick
also
change or no?
I don't think we're gonna get a gimmick change. I think he's gonna
Mm.
lose the sword and just kind of go back to who he was when he was with Dolph as the
Mm.
Scottish psychopath. I think that we're gonna see that return, just him being a sadistic guy. I feel like this match is going to be the perfect way to reintroduce Bray Wyatt. I feel like you could easily segue into like Drew is about to win and then lights go out, come back on, and then it's just Bray in the middle of the ring or something like that. All in all, I just feel like this would be a perfect platform for Bray Wyatt and a perfect event for Bray Wyatt to return. I think that he will. I think that the QR codes have been kind of leading up to this. We've been seeing like the little Easter eggs that they've been putting in the Extreme Rules graphics and stuff like that. So I think we're going to see Bray Wyatt come back during this little match. Now, moving on, we got Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the Raw Women's Championship in a ladder
Wait,
match. Keep going.
would Bray align with Karrion Cross?
He would be on his
We
own.
don't want to do that. We're not going that route.
I don't want Bray to be in line with anybody. I feel like Bray should have his own faction, and I feel like the moment that Bray stands next to Karrion, it kind of makes Karrion like the sidekick or the enforcer to Bray. You know what I mean? Like Karrion
Okay,
Cross is very
that
much
makes sense. Yeah.
Karrion is a very like a primary character. Like he's a world heavyweight title contender. I feel like if you put him next to Bray, Bray's gonna be the guy that goes after the world title, and not
That's
Karrion.
true. That's true. I guess especially after the way his sidekick took over the show last time, maybe Triple H probably wouldn't go with that route. But
Right.
all right, yeah. Moving on.
Moving on, we got Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the Raw Women's Championship in a ladder match. Who do you think is going to come out on top for this one?
Sorry for my phone going off in the background.
You're good.
Yeah. God, because I like them both. I love them both. Um, I think. Well, I heard rumors. First of all, I heard rumors about how they're trying to book Charlotte and Bianca, and then have this thing where since Bianca has beaten now Sasha, Becky, Bayley, or whatnot. Did I say that wrong? Yeah, Bianca has defeated 3 out of the 4 horsewomen. That they're going to lead this into her handling it with Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
and then having to beat all 4 of them. So part of me wants to say Bianca for that reason, but then the Bayley stan in me wants her to win the Raw Women's Championship just because now you kind of have like the Undisputed Era like thing going on,
Vibes,
but it's
yeah.
kind of
Everybody
too
got gold.
soon. Yeah, but then Undisputed Era had to like work really hard to get there. Like that took
Right.
forever. That was a journey that the fans like yearned to like see. So what if, Dakota and Io Sky held on to it and we we watched Bailey chase for that just so we could see that happen eventually. 'Cause I feel like if you give it to us now, it it'll be fun for a moment, but they're still kind of still like establishing themselves.
Right.
So I don't think Bailey really needs it. I mean,
Mm.
I'm always happy to see Bailey with gold, but I think it will help elevate Bianca because wasn't Bailey our first Grand Slam champion? The
Yep.
second she took the I forgot which TLC it was, but she got I think the SmackDown. No, it was the Money in the Bank. Forgot what it was. It was a match. All right, as soon as she got that briefcase or she got that belt, she was
And
automatically
she
the Grand
cashed
Slam
in.
champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah, yeah,
cashed in.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the Money in the Bank match. Yeah. So it was both in one night. Maybe that's why my brain's fogged.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, do you know how big that is for Bianca to beat a Grand Slam champion in a ladder match? The match that literally like made Bailey. I'm not saying that Bailey wasn't that girl because she already was that girl, but she kind of went through like a low period in her career where her being that first Grand Slam champion really established her.
Right.
Like really, really established her all over again, especially with her being a baby face. So I think that Bianca's actually going over. As much as, I want to see Bailey in this instance, I feel like Bianca is so we could segue eventually into Charlotte coming back
Mm.
and then her beating Charlotte.
I
What do you
agree
think?
with you that Bianca's going to win, but I have a very, very interesting theory. Bray Wyatt
Here
won't be
goes
the
the
only
motherfucking original.
return. Bray Wyatt won't be the only return. Sasha
Who's
and
that?
Naomi are coming back. Hear me out. Hear me out. How did Raw end with the Bayley and Bianca confrontation? It ended with Io and Kai injuring Asuka and Alexa backstage. So they're taken out. Asuka's out, Alexa's out. That means, and it's a in the ladder matches are no disqualification, no countouts. Bayley made it clear that she was gonna have her girls by her during the match. So if Asuka's out and Alexa's out, who do you think Bianca's gonna call on to even the odds? Can't be Asuka and Alexa, they're
The
both injured.
Holy Trinity?
So I think that we're going to get Naomi and Sasha at Extreme Rules. And that's going to throw people off more than the Bray and the Bray Wyatt return. And then from there we have Damage Control and we have the Holy Trinity, and that's going to build up to Survivor Series War Games. And both of them could just
Again,
add
using Triple
on
H's
another
brain.
person.
I need them to be researched. I need them in a lab.
So I think that Bianca's going to go over, but I think we're going to see the return of Sasha Banks and Naomi during this
That
match.
would make the whole arena shake and all the Holy Trinity stands just like,
Right.
oh my, I'm excited it hasn't even happened. I don't even know if it's gonna happen, but I'm so excited. Oh my God.
I think that that's the
Like,
reason. I think that that's the reason why we don't see any Intercontinental, United States, or tag team title matches during this card, because
yeah.
I feel like you want certain moments to stand out, and if you have a
Mm.
banger match or banger main event matches, it's going to diffuse some of those moments. So in order for those moments to kind of permeate and resonate and marinate, it was smart for them to have the women's titles on the line, and possibly leave space for those moments. Because if Bray Wyatt comes back and Sasha and Naomi come back, those are going to be the moments of the night by default.
That's a
By
fact.
default,
In last pay-per-view, he let them shine anyway, so it's not like you could really be mad or upset that
right?
like everyone was talking about Gunther. Everyone was talking about Gunther by then of
Mm-hmm.
Clash of the Castles. So honestly, I'm not even mad that they're not on the card. And like honestly, as a fan that has attended WWE shows and I watch the shows, it's exhausting to sit there through like 8 to 12 freaking matches. Like that's just
Mm-hmm.
not normal. That's not normal. And then including like the not the pay-per-view, the pre-show or whatnot. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is such a much better format. Like I don't feel exhausted by the end of it. I don't feel overwhelmed because sometimes you do feel overwhelmed and it gets to a point where like the crowd is silent and you have to feel sorry for the main eventers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're supposed to be your last thought on the show and absolutely nothing they're doing is getting a single reaction. This is
Right.
perfect. It's perfect pacing for the crowd. Everyone gets to have that high and low and relax and get excited again. I think it's perfect and it's perfect for the return. So I hope all that happens that you mentioned because like this already looks like a stat card, but it's definitely going to be like a memorable show. That probably is going to blow Grand Slam out the water if you consider Grand Slam to be a pay per view. I do,
I do.
but yeah, it's definitely going to blow both pay per views out the water that they recently had in AEW. So I mean, while Tony Khan's doing a great job, gotta step your game up, bro, because Hunter.
Cause Hunter's on you. Hunter is on
Yup,
you, bro. Hunter's on you,
yup, foot
brother.
is on his neck.
On his neck, bro. And and I just thought about this. There's a possibility that a women's title match can open the show and end the show. You can have Liv and Ronda to start it off. You can have Bianca and Bayley to close it out. I think that would be a great little thing to do. But
Yeah.
moving on to Finn Balor versus Mo's ex-husband Edge in an I Quit
Oh, here we
match.
go.
Who do you have? Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Finn. I
Mm-hmm.
have to go with Finn with
Wow.
this one. Not because we're going through a divorce or whatever, but it's just the fact that you're watching the storylines progress, and it's starting to feel like Edge is not really the main character. Um, I feel like if he did beat Judgment Day, then you're not really establishing Judgment Day anymore, and we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to make that like the faction of the future. Like that's
Yeah.
clearly what Triple H wants to do with them. I think we said before how Rhea reminds they're like a faction that it's kind of similar to, not really, but it some people in there reminded Jordan of DX or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. I feel like if you have all these important people in this faction and you want to continue to establish this faction and not make it seem like it's only like on life support because of Edge, well, you gotta have them beat the leader, and then end it once for all, you know? So just between that and the fact that he's like no longer like really dealing with the Mysterios, that's taken on a life of its own. I
Mhm.
feel like it's the perfect time to, you know, get rid not really get rid of Edge, but let him just attach himself to a different feud. Maybe
Mhm.
like not involved in a faction because we already checked off that here. We already checked off factions and the tag team matches, the mixed tag team matches, going for the world title. Think it's about time he goes mid card. I don't
Mhm.
think anyone could complain with that. Let him go with the mid
Right.
cards. You know, let him toss it up with. Actually, I don't know who I want to toss it up with because my dream match was AJ Styles and he got that already. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people he could toss it up with. He doesn't really have to win a belt, but I would like to see him win the mid card belt, at least one
Mhm.
belt before he leaves. You know, I don't think anyone could complain because if you let like a part-time, even if he's not really part-time, veteran come back and they win the world title, everyone's always crying saying, oh, well, that could have went to somebody. But
Right.
if he comes back and he wins the mid-card title, because he's heavily known, right? He's heavily known for that mid-card title. Okay, like him with the IC title, what, bro? Like, I'm just saying, he would have came back and he was going for the mid-card title. Well, all you're doing is just elevating that particular division. Even though Hunter has been doing
Right.
a phenomenal job already, it'd be
Absolutely.
super dope to just see him just be interjected into that tier and help work with those talents, elevate those talents, maybe bring out some character or some banger matches with them. You know, if he wants to hold the title, he could hold it for a little bit. You know, if he
Mhm.
wants to go out holding the title and then retiring it or dropping it down to someone the way Becky just gave the title to Asuka, I wouldn't
Right.
be mad at that either. I feel like that's actually a beautiful fairy tale ending, you know, because
Agreed.
before he retired, he had to just give away the world heavyweight title, you know, and that broke my heart. So it'd be
Mhm.
kind of nice to see him go out with the title
Yeah.
months down from now and then hand it down to whoever he thinks should take the torch. I think that'd be beautiful. What about you?
I agree with you on that. I'm as far as the winner of the match, I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
Finn because they want to solidify Judgment Day as the faction of tomorrow. I think we're gonna see a AJ Styles heel turn in this match. It's been teased. I think
For a
that
while.
the pairing of Finn and AJ under a banner that's not Bullet Club esque is very intriguing. Um, and I
Mm.
think that this is the perfect match to do it. I think that this could lead to another AJ and Edge match. Um, somewhere down the line, just because I think that when Edge and AJ went at it the first time, they were both faces, and that's boring. So I feel like this could lead to AJ and Edge, as AJ is a heel, Edge is a face. It could also possibly lead to AJ versus Finn, with AJ as a heel and Finn is a face, or Finn is a face and AJ is a heel because one turned on the other. So we'll see about that, but I definitely think that Finn is going to win this match. I think that Judgment Day needs to be further established, and I think that after this match, they all need to go for gold. I think that Rhea needs to be the women's champion, needs to go for the women's title because that never got resolved. She was injured and then like just kind of faded into oblivion and just came back as Dom's favorite woman. And then but so I think
I love this
Rhea should
feud
come
though.
back. Rhea should definitely get back in the title hunt. I could see Dominic and Damian go for the tag titles, and I could see Finn going for the Universal title. But I think that Finn is definitely going to win. It's also been reported that Hunter wants to push Finn. No surprise there. And I think that if you want to push Finn, I think that he needs to win this match. So that's with that. And then on
I
to
think
the
Rhea
last.
would honestly. I'm
What do you
sorry to
say?
cut you off. It's
You
just
good?
that
You
I
good?
think it'd be. I just thought about how. No, I just thought how cool it would just be if she helped Dom. Even though I'm not like that much of a fan of him. I mean, he's slowly growing on to me because this pairing is just intriguing. It's actually
Yeah, it
funny to
is.
me. Um, I think it'd be kind of cool if they made them the power couple of this era. You know, because what if she helps Dom get to a title, and later on down the line she chases for gold, and they both hold it.
Hmm.
Because to be honest, they're naturally likable. Like they didn't
Yeah,
have
they
to
are.
force it down our throats. It's kind of just like little implied things, unlike with Sammy and Tay, where they're shoving down our throats, like, hey, these two smash. You know, look
Right.
at this ghetto picture of them laying up in the bed with each other at a hotel with the belts. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Here it's like it's very sexually intense, but it's implied. Like it's very
Implied.
tasteful. It's just like, oh, what are you doing with this one? Like, oh,
Right.
okay, like these two are little freaks, okay. You know,
Right.
it's just like it's really intriguing, like because it's something so subtle but like so powerful to like add layers onto their character. So
Mhm.
I think that that'd be really cool if um yeah, they could still have Judgment Day. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I think it'd be really cool if they made them the future power couple. Because it's been a minute since we actually had like a for
Power
real power
couple.
couple in WWE. Yeah, and it'd be different. Like it's totally different. Like the my last power couple in my head is still Edge and Lita. Like that to
Mhm.
me, like no one's touching them. But this would be super cool because it's something that's kind of birthed from Edge starting something,
Mhm.
and it's like a completely different look and feel with these two, where you have this really strong, dominant woman and a semi submissive man, but like she helps him get to the gold. Like kind of like how with Lita, she could hold her own. Like she's ready to fight for her man and do whatever it takes for her man to get the gold or whatnot. But it's kind of interesting because Rhea kind of dictated this whole thing. It's kind of,
Right.
I think that'd be super cool if they did that down the line. But that's just me. What do you think?
I agree with you on that. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I think that Edge and Lita are the best like power couple, and to see, and I don't think that we've had like another kind of like dominant power couple since, and Dominic and Rhea definitely have that potential. So, but to
Mm-hmm.
move on to the last match, the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium in a 6-man tag team, good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Now, I personally don't know what a Donnybrook match is, but must I say, I love this rebranding and representation of the Brawling Brutes. They feel a lot more down to earth and human than they did when they were under Vince's creative reign, and they feel like fighters. They were just on NXT going for the tag team titles over there. And so I love what they're doing with them. But I wanted to know, who do you have, Imperium or the Brawling Brutes?
I am biased. So I'm always going to choose Imperium. I'm obsessed with Imperium. Like I want them to win every single match I ever seen them in.
Right.
They're just standouts to me. I love their look. I love their feel. I love how serious they are. They're so old school to me with
Yeah.
just their presentation, the way they wrestle. Just when they stand in the ring in silence with their arms behind their back. I just love the visual of them, man. Like they're just I want so much for them. I want them to be the faction of the future. Okay,
Mm,
so while I'm happy what's happening with the Brawling Brutes, to me it's a little too late for me to start
mm,
caring. Just because I mean I still have a bad taste in my mouth.
mm,
I'm more interested in seeing what they do individually, but I'm not mad at it because we do need more factions to work with WWE.
mm-hmm.
Um, all these tag team divisions. So I don't mind it. I think it's gonna be a great match nonetheless, but I'm gonna have to give it to Imperium because I'm biased and I love them. Go on.
I I align with you in the sense of I love Imperium. Um, I like they're just dominant. They're dominant pro wrestlers, and they give that and they ooze that. And I will always love, like, I love their characters as individuals and as a group. I love their dynamic. But to be honest, I love this feud. And I think that the only way that it can continue is if the Brawling Brutes beat Imperium. So I'm going to go for the Brawling Brutes on this one because they've been losing a lot. Like they lost the NXT tag team titles to Pretty Deadly, or they lost the match. They didn't lose the titles, so they didn't win the titles. They lost the match. And then they've overall, like, Sheamus hasn't beaten Gunter. Um the Brutes were going against the Usos a couple weeks ago for the WWE tag team titles. They lost that. So I think that in order for them to kind of balance this feud out, I think that they need to win, and I think that they will win. I also think that this is perfect going into Survivor Series War Games because there's so many factions. There's so many factions to choose from. Because I gave my dream scenario, whatever. That's one thing. But you have Imperium, you have the Brawling Brutes, you have the Bloodline. Reports just came out this morning that Legado del Fantasma is being called up to SmackDown. So
I'm sorry.
that's
I
so
love
that's
it.
so that's another faction. So like now we have this huge plethora of factions to choose from for war
I'm
games,
happy.
and the possibilities are endless. And so I think that but going back to the original statement, I think that the Brawling Brutes are going to win, and we're going to get some reiteration of this match down the line, hopefully at Survivor Series in some form of compelling match. So that wraps up our Extreme Rules predictions. We want to know what you guys feel.